unacceptable. They want to make us register our farms and ranches. They want us to hand over all of our personal farm information. They want us to get a premise ID number for our ranches. And if we don't, House Bill 1361 says we could face up to $1,000 a day fine. $1,000 a day fine can add up really quick. Pay the government to own a farm in America or be criminalized? Are you kidding me? Make no mistake, this is already the law in Texas thanks to House Bill 1361. Tactics about disease and bioterrorism to scare everyone. Are you kidding me? Terrorists would hit those huge factory farms before they would hit my family farm. I want to talk to you about horses for a moment. I have never known a single person that got a disease from a horse. I don't eat horses, and I don't export them either. Well, besides making us pay a fee to register our ranch, they also want us to insert a foreign object into our horses' necks. A microchip. Not a theft prevention microchip, mind you, which a lot of people think it is. A different kind of microchip. And guess what? They want us to pay for that too. My horses cannot drive. They don't go any place alone. They are behind me in my trailer when I go to a rodeo or a barrel race. So who will they be tracking? Now think about that for a moment. I don't know about you, but I would call that warrantless surveillance.
But I'll be back.
We are making progress. You are making progress. We have the honor of helping you stay informed and be some of the most well-educated Texans in the state, and that's you. And you are making the difference. We became aware of the Trans-Texas Corridor 5 years ago, and our elected officials in this building behind me told my wife and I that they would never give TxDOT the sweeping powers and authorities that they asked for to do the Trans-Texas Corridor. We went on with our lives. We thought that they would tell us the truth, and it turned out to be a lie. In June of 2003, they passed House Bill 3588, Article 1, the Trans-Texas Corridor, and they got absolutely everything they wanted. There was no limit.
Which is not far from mine, but believe me, he has a lot more energy than I do. Without further ado, Alex Jones.
171 years ago, Texas declared independence from the tyranny of Mexico, and we redeclare that independence from the globalists and the foreign corporations in Spain that thought that they could come into Texas and to many other states and pay off our politicians to hand the infrastructure over to them to rape the American people and the people of Texas. To them I say what Colonel Travis said, victory or death. And I echo the words of Patrick Henry back in 1776. Liberty or death. They have consistently lied about the Trans-Texas Corridor. They have consistently claimed it wouldn't be on existing roads. Their own documents have been made public. It's a scam. A few months ago, I interviewed the Nobel Prize winner, former chief economist of the World Bank, Joseph Stiglitz. This is the big picture. all over the planet in third world nations, the big central banks go in, buy off the politicians, and then seize the water, the roads, the power plants, the infrastructures. And that is exactly what's happening here in the United States, and Texas is the front line. Our entire infrastructure is being seized by criminals, but the people of Texas and the United States are rising to resist it. We are never going to give up. We are never going to surrender. We're never going to back off. We're never going to stop. We've already gotten their 8,000 miles of toll roads scaled way back. We've already caught them in 1,000 lies. The lawsuits are already flying. The people are waking up. We have already had our victory if the people simply take action and get involved, and that's what you're doing. You're part of history. I salute you for being here today. Most Texas Independence Day rallies that I've been to are about waving Texas flags, and that's great. But it's not about what the spirit of Texas is all about, and that's independence, that's freedom, that's standing up against tyranny, that's being individualistic, and that's what you're doing here right now. In fact, I was told that David Stahl, the Corridor Watch, is going to be speaking. He was interviewed by Lou Dobbs today. That's going to be on this afternoon. They're here covering this event. NPR National is here covering it. Newspapers and magazines from all over the country and the world are here covering this second battle for Texas and U.S. independence from the New World Order. But not just Texas, and not just the United States. All over the planet, free humanity is standing up and resisting tyranny on 100 fronts. They're resisting the Animal ID Act right here in Texas and across the country that was written by Big Agra to shut down the family farm and ranch. They're resisting the international seizure of our infrastructures. They're resisting the open borders and the North American Union. It will fail. In a Houston Chronicle poll last year, 97% of Texans are against these foreign-owned toll roads. If we take action, there is no way we can lose, and we are taking action. The New World Order will and is being defeated because of you. Long live Texas. Long live the Republic. Death to the New World Order. When I started out on radio 12 years ago, almost no one knew about the North American Union plans. Almost no one knew about the globalists. Almost no one knew about their agenda. Now, almost everybody you talk to is aware of what's happening and is getting energized and vocal and involved to defeat this tyranny. I thank God that I was born in this time and that I'm alive to fight this tyranny and be a part of one of the most important periods in human history. Make no mistake, we are making history here today. The elite love to tell you that you don't have a hope, that resistance is futile, that you can't win. And they tell you that because they know the power that beats in the breast of every man, woman, and child on this planet. And right here in Texas, whether you be black, Hispanic, old, young, it doesn't matter. You are all free human beings who have a right to control your own destiny. Roads and agriculture are the source of all wealth. Roads carry commerce. They allow you to travel. These roads are part of an international Agenda 21 corridor system. We have the documents. I'm making a film about it to shut down and corral and tax. They're going to put toll roads in your inspection sticker. It was in the last legislature to tax you as you drive down the road, not just these new toll roads. They plan to shut down the farms and ranches and only have big giant corporate farms so they can have a monopoly on our breadbasket and control us. It is an agenda of dehumanization and eugenics, and it is literally life and death. We must defeat the New World Order.
So, fellow Texans, Americans, legal citizens of this United States of America, the power lies in your hands. It's up to you, regardless of your persuasion, to stand against the tyranny, the corporate fascism, when politicians participate in plans to contaminate human beings, to profit off of the hard work of citizens with no avail to them. Stand up and against the Trans-Texas Corridor, the North American Community, the North American Union, as it is also called. Liberty. You for a future destruction. Thanks to the individuals, the networks, the groups, the agencies who were all in cooperation together there on the 2nd of March 2007 for the Don't Tag Texas rally. It was a huge success in that there was a lot of media coverage predominantly elsewhere in the world through mainly the printed media. And even Lou Dobbs on CNN, his evening program, had a segment that day in the evening. And so it did get some significant attention, as well as the ongoing work by the same people, and throughout the rest of the United States of America, there are various other people in their own states who are collectively confronting their state legislatures to reevaluate the various tolling of existing roads. This is not about stalling progress and infrastructure development. It has to do with you follow the money if you want to know what's really going on, and the money is going into the pockets of politicians and international presidents and kings and corporations. The money will not be staying in the state of Texas for its citizens, but you will be paying a hefty amount if you travel the I-35 corridor now, whether for leisure or business. So please do not fall into the misconception as being presented by Governor Rick Perry and his staff that want to make it look like we're just a bunch of old-fashioned, stuck-in-the-past people who don't want progress, as they make comparisons to the Farm Market Road debate some decades ago. First of all, the Farm Market Road debate wasn't sending money to foreign corporations which have, like, for instance, the King of Spain as one of their board members. Okay, so it's not an apples and apples comparison. The Farm Market Road issue was something totally different than what is going to happen with this Trans-Texas corridor if we, the people, not only in Texas but throughout the United States of America, put a stop to it. We have to. And to get the various departments of transportation to go back and reevaluate, that's one of the biggest problems we have in the state of Texas right now, is the Department of Transportation by Rick Perry, who hasn't removed them, with the exorbitant lies, outright scandals that have gone on with the money that is sufficient already in reserve to pay for these roads without tolling already existing and paid for roads. And we're going to get into that with the various media clips that have been broadcast throughout various news agencies in Dallas, here in Austin, San Antonio, as well as nationally through Lou Dobbs, and other homemade videos that people have put together contributing to this that I think you'll find beneficial. What follows is an arrangement of material you can find on your own via the internet, on Google TV and YouTube, but I've just kind of arranged it because some of you don't use the internet, so therefore it's on DVD. Those that see this via the internet on Google TV or elsewhere, this will just basically pull together, it will just bring together the various clips that you will either stumble upon, or if you hunt long and furiously, you'll come across quite a number, in the hundreds, perhaps even thousands, things I'm not even aware of. So some of the video footage is not the best quality because of two reasons. One, just the original source of video that people use, as well as the whole compressing it to get it out online. Some of them are very amateur. They don't know much, don't have the equipment software to make it look real clean. Plus, if the original video footage is sloppy, you're not going to fix that. As well as a lot of this was recorded during peak times on internet traffic, so there are intermittent like pauses or glitches, and so sometimes the frames of the video don't sync up with the audio perfectly, so on and so forth. These are elements in the video that was obtained via the internet that I'm not going to be able to fix. That's pretty much as is. But what you will view is sufficient to substantiate and verify all that was touched upon in the Don't Tag Texas rally. So, and this is by a number of other agencies again. News reports during the evening news and various networks here in Texas. Speeches in the Capitol, there with the Texas legislature, things that pertain to the Department of Transportation, Rick Williams and his evil deeds in conjunction with Governor Rick Perry. So sit back and consider wholeheartedly a lot of what you probably haven't already seen, and even people who pay attention to this may not be aware of some of these elements out there. Either they're too busy to find out, or they haven't quite clicked long and far enough. They're out there on the internet. So keep in mind the video isn't always great. That's just something I'm not able to fix due to the nature of it's the original. Take notes, get the information down, learn it, so you can be knowledgeable when you discuss it with other people, referring them to this DVD, the link that will be on Google TV for this if you're already watching it via that means, as well as phone numbers, addresses. This thing is being stalled right now as I'm recording this in Congress to have a 2-year moratorium to stall it, to reevaluate it, look at the funding, look at where the money's going, the whole international Spain and Australia connections that bought up newspapers along the entire corridor path so that they could run propaganda to convince the people this would be the best thing since sliced bread. It's totally crooked and corrupt. There's a better way to increase our roads to meet the population and increase of business here in the state of Texas without tolling existing roads and tearing up hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland and people's homes just so Perry can be the one to launch such a so-called novel idea.
Our great state of Texas is now being threatened by an idea born by Governor Rick Perry, the Trans-Texas Corridor. Governor Perry's TTC is 4,000 miles of tollways and infrastructure estimated to cost $200 billion.
If you like the Dubai port deal, you'll love my TTC land grab. It turns your property into foreign profits.
Governor Perry signed a secret deal with a Spanish corporation to control Texas infrastructure for the next 50 years. When the news media, the public, and the Attorney General demanded the deal be made public,
Bring in the lawyers!
they filed a lawsuit to keep it a secret. For over a year, it's been held up in court. The Houston Chronicle reported a $30,000 TTC Perry payoff just days before a $1 billion contract. In 2004, Time magazine reported over $1 million in Perry payoffs. Governor Perry has ignored dozens of county governments across Texas that have opposed the largest land grab in the history of the U.S. Dozens of public hearings and marches have opposed the TTC. Countless hard-working Texans will be displaced for Perry's half-million-acre eminent domain scheme. Governor Perry is even ignoring his own party, which opposes the TTC with its confiscation of private land. Families all across Texas are now at risk of losing their homes as Perry hands our Texas infrastructure over to foreign robber barons. Perry is also forcing toll booths on freeways we've already paid for, more unaccountable bureaucracies, and a double tax boondoggle. Texans must now take a stand, vote out Rick Perry, and take back Texas before it's too late. Perry.com to share this video.
Taking our public highways throughout the whole country and shifting them to toll roads, and what they're doing is they're stealing permanently our free expressways.
Yeah, we're talking about 75-year leases.
Basically, we have to pay and then get tracked and traced and automatically ticketed.
The next 2 news segments. We're joined in studio by Sal Costello. A few years ago, he got angry to learn they were going to build all these major toll roads right around his southwest Austin neighborhood. I live in the same area.
What we're doing is we're taking legal action with lawsuits, and we're also taking political action with cutting out some of the cancer that we have in our local governments.
Let's talk about Brewster McCracken, the city council member, this Benedict Arnold, this treacherous traitor.
He basically gave the steering committee for the independent review to tollers, the same people who voted to toll roads. So it's kind of like Enron auditing Enron, and this is Brewster McCracken. And now it's even gotten worse. But this company is hired because they fluff the numbers. They're like professional con men.
And it's a rubber stamp company all over the U.S. that the states and the cities go out and hire to rubber stamp the scam.
So this is absurd.
Well, I call it corporate looting. I mean, that's what it is.
It is corporate looting. It's corporate welfare. And Governor Perry here in this state, and then we're dealing with local elections as well, and they're all weasels.
90+% are against it. Even the Attorney General's office is saying a lot of this stuff's illegal. They're keeping the agreement secret.
Oh, yeah.
And so no one wants this. It's a big scam, but still most of the politicians are for it because they're getting their pockets lined.
In the state comptroller here in Texas basically produced an investigative report that is on TexasTollParty.com, and she shows how this is double taxation without accountability. She shows how these board members have basically used our gas tax dollars meant for our roads, given out no-bid contracts to themselves and their friends.
I'd like to say a couple things so that's on the record. And when I finish for each person, I hope that they'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. Some things that disturbed me when I found out that Donna Dukes has a sister, Stacy Roan Dukes, who is a subcontractor for the CTRMA. And her vote does benefit her sister as a subcontractor. I wanted that to be on the record. Donna Dukes, can you tell me if any of what I just said is false?
Sal Costello, I'd like to say for the record, first, Jim George. Second, my sister can speak for herself, and any vote that I cast is a vote that's based on the concerns that are developed as I am studying the issue. If you're implying anything, state that on the record so Jim George can talk to you about it.
I just said what I said. And Jim George, by the way, is the lawyer that Donna Dukes had basically sent me a letter to threaten to sue me. But I'm asking if it's true or not. But apparently you don't want to answer that.
Every time I vote on an issue in Texas, since
Yes.
the law requires me to live in Texas, it affects someone in my family. That's the law.